When the Nazis came to power in 1933, few could have predicted how the world would be in 1945. Yet for the Jewish population of Europe, the gradual removal of their rights and freedoms by Nazi oppression started slowly. For Ibi Nil, as a young girl living in Czechoslovakia, her world started changing around her in frightening ways.
We lived in Bratislava, in the part where the embassies were, with a lovely big apartment. And as was usual in those days, we had a cook, we had a maid, we had a car, and life was easy.
In the Vienna of Otto Deutsch's childhood, Jews and non-Jews lived side by side. There was a close bond between his father and his neighbor.
My father and Mr. Kovac, Kurt Kovac, I remember his name so vividly, they were not only friends, but they were comrades in the First World War. They shared the same trench together. So we grew up almost as one family.
But in 1933, Hitler came to power with the aim of forcing the Jews out of Germany. Through 1,000 humiliations, the Jews were degraded and dehumanized.
You were made to wear a yellow star on the left side of your clothes. Most of shops put notes out they wouldn't serve Jews, and even the ones that did, you were supposed to be the last ones to be served. You couldn't sit down on public transport because you were going to contaminate the seat on which you sat. And I felt very, very angry about this.
I was told I could no longer be captain of the football team because the football team had to be 100% Aryan, non-Jewish. Well, when you're only 9 or 10, you wonder, what does it mean, be Aryan? Wasn't I a good goalkeeper? Where's a goalkeeper? And it hurt me.
On November the 9th, 1938, the Nazis orchestrated a night of looting and trashing Jewish shops, homes and synagogues. It was known as Kristallnacht. 91 Jews were murdered. Otto's father was denounced by his next-door neighbor.
At about 4 o'clock in the morning, it was still dark. A group of young Hitler youths burst into our room, broke into our room. But what shook me most of all is that they were led by the very same man whom I called Uncle Kurt, who was a friend of my father for 20-odd years. I can't understand how a man can do this. And he told them, there lies there's a Jew. And they took my father. I never saw my father again. I miss him now as I did then. My father was my friend.
Otto was lucky to escape. In 1938, he was one of 10,000 mainly Jewish children taken to Britain on a rescue mission called the Kindertransport. The Nazis forbade parents to show any emotion as they said goodbye to their children at the station.
Oh, I remember this so vividly. My mother turned her back on me. She knew if I was to see her weep, I wouldn't be such a man. Oh, I was a big man. I don't have to cry. You know, to this day, I regret the last cuddle was denied to me.